Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of The Bullet. My name is Paul Lathrop. I'm the Deputy Director of New Media for the Second Amendment Foundation. Joining me today, Charlie Cook, the man, you've heard the saying, white men can't dance. Here's the proof. Riding shotgun with Charlie and Charlie's Gun Grams.
I can feel the love. I really can. Between this and Saturday with Rick, yeah, I can feel the love.
Yeah. Everybody, if you have not seen Charlie's latest Gungram, you've got to go check it out. Charlie did a Gungram for the old late 1970s song Lip Sync's Funky Town. You've got to go. It is super fun. You've got to go check this thing out.
Well, thank you. I always tell people I don't dance, but I just tagged Susan. Susan put the video up and tagged me on it, and I just put a picture up of me from from April 1st, 2007, and it's not an April's Day Fools. I actually won a dance contest.
Really?
So I don't know if that says anything about my dancing abilities or the inability of the other people that are dancing, but I was in a local Dancing with the Stars contest, and I was first place.
Awesome. Okay.
So there we go. Not only am I an instructor, I'm also an award-winning dancer.
Right. All right. Well, miracles happen all the
time. Right? What is it? The thing about the squirrel? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. The first story I want to talk about, and this went off bearing arms, and Cam Edwards just absolutely nails this one. He put out a column today. And let's see if I can get this one pulled up. The title of the column, Bloomberg columnist explains why gun control research is worthless. And I want to read a little bit off this column. Towards the end, Cam writes, one example that Brown raises the oft-repeated claim that gun homicides dropped by 40% after the state of Connecticut adopted a permit to purchase law requiring handgun owners to first receive a gun permit from their local police department. This was breathlessly reported back in 2015 by outlets like the Washington Post and repeated on Democratic stages in 2020. But Brown revealed some interesting parts of the study that weren't widely reported and utterly discount that 40% statistic. First, the drop in homicides in Connecticut weren't based on a comparison between previous years or the United States as a whole. Instead, researchers crafted a synthetic Connecticut comprised of portions of Rhode Island, California, and several other states and compared those homicide totals to Connecticut's post-permit murder rate. In other words, Charlie, they're making stuff up as they go along.
It really is cherry picking stuff. You're going to pick Rhode Island, which is a very small state, and I believe it's pretty difficult to get a permit in Rhode Island. And then you're going to pick California, which just had I hate to call it a mass shooting because it was really a fight with some people that had guns, and 12 people were shot and 6 people died. And those are the stats they're going to use, taken from a pool of these two places, and compare them to Connecticut. It's not even, you can't even say it's cooking the books. It's like they're not even using anything legitimate that's going to be comparable. It's if you had a real estate agent that was doing this for comps, you would never hire this person again.
No. If this is not, you're right. This is not cooking the books. This is so far beyond that.
It's cherry picking and saying, hey, these people have we're going to take this statistic, we're going to take this statistic, and Connecticut's is lower than theirs. Really? Why don't you compare Connecticut to Connecticut?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me, Michael, let me get this up, says, Rhode Island, this is a great point. Rhode Island is and shall issue.
Oh, that's cool. I actually, I've been. Somebody was telling me 4 months ago, 5 months ago, that there is a town in Rhode Island, and I hate to blow our cover here, but there is a town in Rhode Island that issues non-resident permits, and I've had the paperwork for it. I've been carrying it around for longer than I'd like to admit, but it's something I've thought about doing, is pursuing getting my Connecticut permit, and honestly, get my my Rhode Island permit, and I thought about getting the Connecticut permit as well. There's one little town. There's one little section in Connecticut that I drive in every week. It's probably a half mile, and I always tell people I drive through there as fast as I can because I don't want to get caught carrying.
There you go. There you go. Larry over on the Facebook side says 1954, How to Lie with Statistic by Daryl Huff says it all. Yeah, and I subscribe to a email news site that they give out updates every day on what's going on in Second Amendment news. Subscribe to it for years, but one of the things, whenever there's a new study that comes out, the headline they lead with is lies, damned lies, and statistics. And yeah, you can cook the books quite well with statistics and surveys and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cherry picking where you're going to get your information from.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that leads into I think it was this story about, what is it, 27,900 pieces of research. They handpicked 123 out of almost 28,000. They used 123, which is way less. I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure it's way less than 1%.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really, it's picking up the good news.
It is. Want to get one more comment? This is way off. This is not even left field. This is foul territory. This is so out there. Charlie says, Paul, great article on your cerebral vascular, my stroke experience. SAF family support shows the character of you and them. Sending prayers up as always for everyone. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, I got a little bit of a nudge from one of my bosses over at SAF to write that article, and that it wasn't, in calling it an article is maybe a little bit of an exaggeration in and of itself. The article was only 650 words. The damn thing took me almost 6.5 hours to write, but was able to get it done, get it out. I'm working on another, and this one really is an article. I hope to have it out by tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm interviewing people, and this is also a casting call. If you live in a state, if you are a firearms trainer and you live in a state, Charlie, you're out of this. If you live in a state that has passed constitutional carry, please, if you're a firearms trainer, email me at paul@politicsandguns.com. I would love to interview you. What I'm finding is, and I'd like to get one or two more interviews in before I do this article, what I'm finding is the demand for training has been going up after constitutional carry passes. Even in states that used to have a requirement for training to get a permit, demand for training, once the requirement goes away, demand for training is going up. And even in like this, the profitability for firearms trainers is going up as well, simply because the trainers don't make a lot on the courses where they have to teach the permits. They can switch to simply how to effectively use your firearm for self-defense, and those classes are a lot more profitable and do more for their students anyway. So,
absolutely, and yeah, you will not be. I will not be. I will not be cherry picked from those people that are participating in your survey there. And that's honestly that's great news that people are getting training, because it does require stuff. And just real quick on the story of on your story that you wrote about getting back into it, it's great to have you writing again. And it's you know, you gotta prime the pump. You know what I mean? Go back and flex those muscles that you haven't used for a while, and you have to write about something you know about. You knew about your story, and it's an easy way to get back into it. So good for you. We're all glad you're around. We're all glad you're doing much better, and you're cranking out shows 6 days a week, producing seven shows a week, I think.
Yeah.
So you're working every day, man. You're working every day, and flexing the writing muscle is going to be good again.
Well, and I Dave Workman, my boss, I explained it like this: I need to do the writing too, because I equated it like if you break your leg and you're in a cast. Once you come out of the cast, you're going to have a permanent limp unless you exercise your leg. You've got to work that leg to get the limp to go away. Well, I need to work on my writing, or I'm permanently going to suck at writing. I used to be, I thought, okay at writing. Now, not so much. I need to get better. So,
just flexing muscles, man.
There you
just
go.
Get some repetitions, and it's going to be awesome.
Let me get a couple comments in here. Michael says Connecticut may issue, although I have a non-Connecticut resident CCW, but my New York City won't issue me a CCW. Hold on. Give it about another 6 to 8 weeks, and the Supreme Court may have something to say about that. We're coming up on that time.
So staying with the New York thing and the NYSERPA versus Bruin, I was listening to the Gun for Hire podcast with Anthony Calandro, and he was saying that with all of the folks that are hitting Clarence Thomas about his wife and the stuff that his wife does, he really hopes that the Clarence Thomas is going to make people. They're going to have to, I think he said, to go under strict scrutiny when they look at the carry cases, so they can make it so that people in occupied territory are going to be able to get carry permits.
I really wish Alex Urley were here right now. I really wish he were, because there's a level above strict scrutiny, and I wish he was here to tell us what it was. I believe it's called History and Traditions, or Writings and Traditions, or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a level above strict scrutiny, and if Clarence Thomas is the author, we could go there.
We could, and I think he was trying to say that with all of the rough house that they're giving Clarence Thomas's wife, this could be his final piece. He's been in the hospital recently with some health issues. It could be his swan song as he possibly makes it to the end of.
Please no.
End of the Biden administration into a Republican administration, and we can, he can retire with hopefully a conservative going in under a Republican president.
If there is a scientist out there that perfects cloning, I'm going to forego my step. Let's clone Clarence Thomas first. Charlie Chambers says sadistics versus statistics.
That's awesome.
All right, let's see here. What I've even forgot. I got so busy with some other things, I forgot what I had.
So the next story was David Hogg's tweet.
Oh yes. Oh,
can you pull this? Do you have everything set up? Could you pull up your screen so people can see the tweet?
Give me just 1 minute, and I certainly can. I'm loading it in my browser now, and I gotta get the right. Here it is, and we're gonna pop that over right now. If you need a license to kill deer, why don't you need one to kill humans? I got a question, young Mr. Hogg. Are you looking to get a license? Because certainly I'm not looking to kill anyone. I don't want to.
What kind of a person tweets this? What kind of a person tweets this? Oh my gosh, if this isn't some sort of a crazy threat that he wants to kill people, he wants to be 007 Hogg, David Hogg.
Wow.
I mean, really? He wants a license to kill people? That's a threat, isn't it?
You know,
what was that movie where they kept saying, "Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?" I forget what that's from. But yeah, this is nuts. Or is he trying to say that we shouldn't have hunting licenses? Is this what he's trying to say? Like, either way, however you try to interpret this is not good.
No, it is absolutely not. And let me see if we got any comments coming in. Well, we got a little bit of a delay in comments coming in, but no, I don't see any yet. If we get any comments, I'll certainly pop them in, but holy cow. Next story is by AWR Hawkins off of Breitbart. Concealed carry permit applications up 600% in Philly as law-abiding residents respond to violent crime by arming themselves. Certainly, if I lived anywhere near Philly and I owned a car, I would be looking for a concealed carry permit. Well, if I lived anywhere near Philly, I'd be looking for a concealed carry permit, period. Especially if I owned a car. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that they show a picture of a Glock in a Phobos holster. And Phobos holsters, usually when I buy a new gun, I get a Phobos holster for it because it's only $20, and then I eventually get a different holster.
You get a real one, a real holster.
Yeah, I totally do. Obviously, people want to be able to protect themselves, and the word's getting out with the defund the police, with carjackings in Philly. People should be getting licenses, and people should learn how to shoot and learn about self-defense and be able to protect themselves, because the police aren't going to do it. I mean, oh my gosh, what is Bob Main is the podcaster that says that I carry a gun because the police is too heavy.
I can't carry a cop. Yep. Yeah, and Michael says, "You talking to me?" That's from Taxi Driver.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah. Of course, people should get their permits in Philly. I had Shanine Allen on my show. I interviewed her in Philadelphia a few years ago, and she was telling me the education that she got. I'm going to use air quotes when I say the education that she got from the Philly police was virtually nothing. She didn't know that her Pennsylvania permit didn't work outside of Pennsylvania, which is probably something people should know. She really didn't know what she was doing, and the cops didn't give her a lot of information, and that's not good on the education system. You do need to learn, if you're going to carry a gun, you need to learn about self-defense. You need to practice. You need to become proficient with your gun, and it's sort of is on the instructor to give them an education, but it's also on the instructor to be able to point them in the right direction if they can't get the information. And when I teach classes, I give people my biz card. I say, here's my email, here's my phone number. I'm going to add you to my email list. You guys got any questions? Like, don't hesitate. Contact me, email me, let me know how long it takes you to get your permit. If you got some questions, if you want to go gun shopping, like, let me know, man. I am around and available.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't do this for her. But the article here, getting back to the article says that they dropped the fingerprint requirement, which is why the numbers have gone up, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and saying even with my friends, I will. Heck, if you live in the Sioux Falls area, even if you're just an occasional viewer or podcast listener, and you want help, and I've never trained you, shoot me an email, paul@politicsandguns.com. I'll help you go search for a gun. I'll help you find a gun that fits your hand and you're comfortable with. Gee, twist my arm. I'll go gun shopping with you.
Right.
I want to take a quick side trip and talk about Shanine Allen real quick. If y'all remember, this has been several years ago. There was a year when Gun Rights Policy Conference was in Chicago. This is what Shanine Allen's. She cares so much when Gun Rights Policy Conference was in Chicago, they had that incident where that nutcase wanted to go terrorist and tried shooting up and burning down the air traffic control center, shut down the basically shut down Chicago airspace for a day and a half, messed up everybody going to Gun Rights Policy Conference. I was still driving truck then and drove my truck to Chicago for Gun Rights Policy Conference. So I was there already. Well, Frank Fiamingo had come in early, and her flight was canceled. She called Frank, and Frank handed me the phone. Shanine was like, she wanted to know the day before directions how to get to Chicago, because she was going to jump in her car and drive because she wanted to be there. That's the kind of dedication she has. And I'm like, boy, that's that to come from the Philly area to Chicago because she wanted to be around her people and her flight was canceled. That's dedication.
Yeah, that really is. She's a great gal. I mean, she's really dedicated to the whole thing, and she's all about it, you know.
All right, get a couple comments in here, and yeah, we're getting down towards the bottom here, and being Monday, we have to shut down on time because I've got Polite Society I've got to get going here. But Michael says DC is also plagued by carjacking, so that doesn't surprise me at all. DC is another one of these jurisdictions that is plagued by a weak prosecutor that believes in they were just turning their lives around. And he also says you need to know the local laws where you carry. Yeah, I was having a discussion with a friend earlier today, and it was going back to what you and I were talking about last week, Charlie, and that is the difference between constitutional carry and permitless carry. And the friend was saying, look, permitless carry is not the same flavor state to state. And that's absolutely true. Permitless carry in South Dakota is not the same as permitless carry is going to be in Georgia, is not the same as permitless carry is in Texas. That you got to know the laws where you're at.
You do. I had a few Utah classes over the last few weekends, and I always tell people that I know the USCCA has an app. I know that US Law Shield has information. I know that USA Carry has information, but the one that I go to is handgunlaw.us. I like the layout of how they have everything. I like that the states you can carry in are blue, the states you cannot carry in are red, and the states you can carry in with a resident permit from a particular state are tan. I don't have to learn new colors. All the information's laid out. There's hot links to where you apply for permits. There's information on how to get the resident permit, the non-resident permit, places you can carry, places you can't carry.
You can dig RV down and go to the state's website with their laws printed out. So you can, if you are that geeky, you can dig right into that state's particular laws.
I before my phone was smarter than it is, I used to go to handgunlaw.us. If I was going to be traveling and driving, I would go to handgunlaw.us. I would print out a couple pages for each of the states I was going in. I would put them in a 9x12 envelope. On the top of the envelope, I would put yes, the state has reciprocity. No, I do not have to tell the police. Or no, the state doesn't have reciprocity. Yes, I have to tell the police. Whatever the case was, I would put that on the envelope. I would put that next to the passenger seat, so I had it easy and quick and handy if I ever needed it.
There used to be a podcaster, Chaz Murray. He went by the Unnamed Trucker.
I remember listening to some of his shows.
Yeah. He had a mnemonic. He memorized all of the states that were you must inform. And he had a mnemonic for that. And the guy, mentally brilliant. I could never do that. I always just informed. But that's not always the smartest thing to do anyway. But wow, I hats off to the guy.
Yeah, totally.
All right, well, let's do this. We are.
All right. Go ahead.
we got a couple more minutes. Do we have anything else?
We got the last story.
Yeah. You know, I hate to pick on the NRA, but I'm going to pick on the NRA a little bit here. I say this every time. We need a strong NRA. I'm an NRA Life member. I will not be giving up my membership. However, NRA has been claiming credit for 25 states getting permitless carry. Guess what, NRA? You had very, 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 very little to do with that. It's the people in the states that have been working their tails off to do it. Specifically, I know in Georgia, you've been almost totally inactive. In Florida, you've been hurting it, as you have in Nebraska. And we'll be talking about that in about 35 minutes. So NRA, yeah, nationally, you've done some good stuff. I hope you come back. I hope you do great stuff in the future. But you claiming credit for 25 states getting permitless carry, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is too bad, and we know that the NRA has a history of waiting till the last minute, hopping on something and claiming some victory, or writing a couple checks just before everything's done, and then saying that they were involved. I'm with you. I think we need a strong NRA. I think the NRA needs to be there. I think the NRA takes cover for a lot of the things, while the SAF and the GOA and FPC, they go in and get the work done and win the court cases and win the legal battles. And the NRA takes heat because the anti-gun folks don't want to go after FPC or SAF or GOA because we've got the NRA. So let them take the heat for stuff. Okay, take a little bit of credit. We know you weren't really there. We know you're dragging your feet in a number of states, but okay. Yeah.
I'm again. NRA's done a lot of good stuff, and I don't want to bag on them too hard. However, this
yeah. Let's get things fixed. Fixed.
And I don't want to say SAF did this. I don't want to say no, the people have done this. The grassroots did this. The people reached out to their legislators and said, "Get this. We want this."
I don't know if you talked about it yet. I did talk with Holly Sullivan from the CCDL last week. She gave me a call, and she said the governor, I think it's Ned Lamont, the Connecticut governor, came out and said he wanted a lot of gun control acts, and the CCDL got minorities together. It got black folks. It got Hispanics. It got women together. They had a huge testimony period where a huge chunk of people, I think there were, oh my God, I know the numbers are not going to be right. I think she said there were about 2,000 people, somewhere between 1,800 and 2,000 people testified, and there were probably, I think she said 150 that were anti-gun, and everybody else was pro-gun, and she got the people to come out of the woodwork to testify against this. And they went, I think it was like 47 pages of anti-gun stuff down to 3 pages of anti-gun stuff. So yeah,
I'm going to call that a victory.
Huge victory.
Yeah,
it's a huge victory. Absolutely. So it is the people that are getting the stuff done. Oh my gosh! Speak of one of them, Brooke Cheney.
Yeah, they did say it was over the last 30 years, not just today. That is true. And then Michael says they sent that email to all members, and she said, Brooke, going back to Brooke, I was happy to see them. NRA acknowledged the 50%, and she says CCDL did crazy outreach in the gun shops the weeks leading up to the testimony. CCDL, I've gotta get Holly on the show here in the very near future, either on Polite Society or here on the Bullet. She's been doing absolute yeoman's work. She's been working her tail off, and I need to reach out. I need to get her on the show. We've interviewed her before. We've got to get her back on again.
Yeah, and the great thing about Holly is oh my God, I'm going to forget exactly what the award was, but it was like I think it was the Activist of the Year at JRPC last year. I think that's what the title was, but she's out there kicking tail. She's doing an amazing job in Connecticut.
Absolutely. Well, folks, if you would jump over, if you're watching here, jump over to the SAF's YouTube and Facebook in 30 minutes. Coming up tonight, Trish Harold is going to be with us. She's from Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. She's the president. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the permitless carry in Nebraska. And that this week is the week that's either going to live or die. And we're going to be talking with her about that. That comes up in just a hair under 30 minutes over on the SAF's pages. So we're going to shut this down here for now. And Charlie, thanks for helping out today, man.
Always my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Can't wait to do it again.
All right. Folks, that's going to do it for right now. Come join us again 5 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, and come join us on SAF's pages in 30 minutes.